Ralph Breaks the Internet, what was the best scene in the movie?
Oh, the bit when she meets all the other princesses and they're like, "You're a princess!"
Wouldn't it be good if there was just more movies where all the characters crossed over like that? Connections. Well, let me tell you, it's happened before. It could happen again. And sometimes it didn't happen at all. Mickey's Christmas Carol walked so Avengers Endgame could run. Greetings,
I'm Eliz.
And I'm Ben.
And we are going to bring you all the Disney crossover information that you desire.
Oof!
We had a comment asking us what we think about Disney crossovers from Disney Avenger.
She said, by the way, I was curious if you take requests. We took the request.
8 months later.
8 months later, here we are. So she asked about what Disney crossovers we want to see. We're going to do that in another video because we thought first,
let's talk about the ones that have happened already.
Do you know what I mean? So this one is the history of Disney crossovers.
You said history like it was really exciting.
Disney history is really exciting, you weirdo. Throughout Disney history, we see many cameos where a character from one movie shows up in another. And this is where we need to make the distinction between cameos and crossovers.
Right.
Because there's cameos aplenty. These are often in the background, not speaking, not affecting the story or the main characters at all, but are still really cool for fans to see. Can you think of any cameos?
I know of the one in Frozen where we see Rapunzel and Finn.
Right, at like the ceremony,
Yeah.
going to the castle. We've got Mrs. Potts in Tarzan, Pinocchio and Sebastian in Aladdin. Scar makes a cameo in Hercules. We've got...
When?
Okay, it's a bit deep. Scar is being worn as like a robe.
I've seen that.
And he's getting like
How do you know
painted.
it's Scar?
It's fully Scar. Mickey, Donald and Goofy in The Little Mermaid.
When?
It's a crowd shot. You also see Kermit the Frog, but that's neither
Is
here
this
nor there.
factual or is this some speculation?
It's actual. Everything is satisfactual. We've also got the King and the Grand Duke from Cinderella in The Little Mermaid. We've got all the dogs from 101 Dalmatians and Lady and the Tramp in Oliver and Company.
No, all the 101 dogs.
Okay, I didn't mean all, I meant some.
You said all.
And of course we've got Belle and Carpet in Hunchback of Notre Dame.
We spoke about that on our facts video, if you want to check that out.
We did. And if we were going to start talking about cameos in Pixar films,
Oh, that's a second.
we'd be here all night. A crossover, on the other hand, in my opinion, is when characters from different movies show up, have dialogue, and actually affect the story in a place we don't usually see them. So when we're talking about Disney crossovers, we need to go back to the beginning. And when I say the beginning, I mean the second film.
What's that? Pinocchio.
He's learning. So a couple of characters from Pinocchio start cropping up in other movies or other projects. So we got Figaro, Geppetto's cat. She suddenly becomes Minnie Mouse's cat.
Oh, Figaro!
And then Jiminy Cricket, he starts showing up all over the shop. He's in Fun and Fancy Free as the narrator. Side note, also Cleo the fish is in Fun and Fancy Free. So already by like the 1940s, all these different Pinocchio characters are showing up elsewhere.
Wow. So
why Pinocchio? I don't know.
So there's a fish in Pinocchio.
Yeah, like a little goldfish in a bowl called Cleo.
Does it speak?
No, fish can't speak. Who's this guy? And now our journey brings us to the fateful year of 1983 with a little film called Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Look who's coming for Christmas. All your favorite Disney characters.
Yes, sir!
Is that a Disney film?
I mean, it's not a Disney classic, but it's got lots of characters from Disney classics. Obviously, we've got Mickey, Donald, and the gang, but we've also got... Yeah, I said gang. We also have characters from Ichabod and Mr. Toad in there. We've got Mr. Toad, Ratty, Moley, the Weasels. We've got Otto from Robin Hood. We've got Willy the Giant from Fun and Fancy Free. 2 mentions of Fun and Fancy Free in one video?
Who knew?
This must be a record! And we've got our main man, Jiminy Cricket, back again for another little cameo.
What do they do?
They're all playing different characters from Christmas Carol. So yeah, this is the first time you're seeing loads of characters from different films all in one place. So the 80s started this trend for doing like crossovers, and then in 1988 we start to get serious about Disney crossovers with Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So what's crazy about this film is you're getting cartoon characters from Disney, Warner Brothers,
How are they allowed to do that?
contracts, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I mean, Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse are in the same scene.
That's nuts.
Groundbreaking, but because these are the biggest cartoon characters on the planet at the time, maybe even now, It had to be in their contract that they spoke the same amount of lines and got the same amount of screen time.
Because otherwise get favoritism or something.
Yeah, because you don't want to make one look better than the other.
Right.
And at the end of the film, Looney Tunes finished with like Porky Pig going, "That's all, folks."
Yeah.
But just so it was equal, they also had Tinkerbell come in and like
Wow.
finish the film as well. So the whole film, it's like a celebration of classic cartoons.
Right.
So even though it came out in the 80s, you're not going to see any past like the 1950s. It's all about mainly like the 30s and 40s films, like your Mickey Mouses, your Bugs Bunnies. If you love a cameo, watch that movie. It's good. Now we're going to move into the 90s, and this is where we're going to start talking about Disney television animation.
I didn't know there was any TV animation. Disney.
Well, the TV shows from the 90s.
Please tell me what they are.
So we got the things like Goof Troop, DuckTales, Gummy Bears.
Gummy Bears? Gummy Bears is Disney?
Yeah.
Guys, I'm learning so much with you.
The movies in the 90s started getting their own TV shows. So Hakuna Matata with Timon and Pumbaa. So it was a TV show just with Timon and Pumbaa.
Have people seen that?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not living their lives.
Have
I
you?
don't know if they've seen that.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I watched it as a kid. Saturday mornings. Saturday mornings was the one. We had Jungle Cubs, which was like the Jungle Book characters, but all as babies.
Wow.
Then there was also an Aladdin show. There was a Hercules show. And this is where we find our next Disney crossover. There was an episode called Hercules and the Arabian Night. And we saw Hercules go to Agrabah.
What? I've not seen this. Hercules and Aladdin at the same time? That can't be right. He's a god.
But he was still on planet Earth.
Yeah, but I thought that was like time before.
You also, in another video, thought that Aladdin was set in like the 1990s.
Yeah, it's the 90s.
No.
So Hercules and Aladdin were in the same program.
Like, two worlds.
One family.
Oh, cross your heart, let fate decide. Too much. I take it too far. I just took it too far. You stop at that lyric and I carried on.
Was it good?
In all honesty, the series is really low budget. The animation's not amazing, but on a Saturday morning, you're not expecting to see that.
Yeah.
But now we're going to step into the 2000s where Disney TV animation decided to take it up a notch. I'm talking about the House of Mouse.
What is that?
The hottest club in town, Disney's House of Mouse. Who's that knocking at the House of Mouse?
It was a nightclub run by Mickey Mouse.
A night, as in like...
Okay, let me rephrase that. They're all sat tables.
a bar.
Yeah. It's called a bar.
This is a kids program.
This is a kids program.
They were drinking.
They weren't serving alcohol. They were serving food and drinks. The staff are like the Mickey Mouse gang. The guests are just characters from every single Disney movie ever. And when I say every single, you've got the famous ones. You've got your Cinderellas walking around, your Aladdin and Jasmine walking around. And then you've got like Chernabog sat at table. You'll see like Clarabelle Cow.
Do they talk though? Or is it just like, oh hey?
So most of them are just there. They're like walking around or they're sat at tables drinking and stuff. But sometimes they get involved with like the actual storyline of the episode.
Wow, I need to watch some of this.
You'll see like the villains. But this is my other point. Why is it not on Disney Plus?
Oh. Was it good?
When I was a kid, it was amazing. Like, again, Saturday morning, but I'm watching and just trying to like catch every single cameo. There'd be some characters, I wouldn't know who they was. Ichabod Crane walking around? Who's that?
Table 9 has Ichabod by Mowgli and Baloo. The headless horseman's table 7 and his head's at table 2.
2001, we had House of Mouse, the most ambitious crossover we've had so far. Then 2002, Kingdom Hearts. So Kingdom Hearts, we have our heroes of Sora, Donald and Goofy going around different Disney worlds to try and find the Princesses of Heart or to save the Princesses of Heart. I'll be honest, the storyline is hella confusing.
Sometimes it's real deep. I come into the room when you're playing it and I'm like, what is going on?
And I don't know, there's people crying and there's
like
things.
clones of each characters.
Oh my goodness, and they all have heartless nobodies, and then there's the Organization 13.
For a kids game, it's a lot.
Who said it was a kid's game? So the story is hella confusing, but for the Disney content, it's great.
Don't dilly-dally, it's your big finale. Sha-la-la.
In 2002, not only is House of Mouse being shown on TV, not only is Kingdom Hearts being played on the PlayStation, we have an announcement of a brand new Disney animated classic called The Search for Mickey Mouse.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it didn't get made. So it was announced in time for Mickey Mouse's 75th anniversary, and it was going to be Disney's 50th animated classic. They announced that the plot was going to be Mickey Mouse has gone missing. So Minnie Mouse finds Basil of Baker Street to help solve the case.
Crime, nice.
And on their way, they are going to encounter at least one character from every single Disney movie, all 49 movies.
That would have taken way too long.
But how epic would that have been?
Yeah, that would have been good. Why haven't I done that?
But I'm thinking sizes. So like Minnie's a mouse, Basil's a mouse. So are they different sizes?
Right.
So then if he's next to Aladdin, there should be a big difference.
Yeah.
But then what size is Aladdin next to Mickey Mouse?
Like, where would it be set? Like, because obviously, like, Hunchback, he's obviously in Paris.
Obviously.
So what, they're going to go around the world? They're going to take Aladdin's carpet? What was the plan, then? Tell me the details.
The teasers are, they were going to go around the world and take Aladdin's carpet. I don't know. That's pretty much all the information that got announced about the film.
Right.
But then it kind of just went quiet and all the information about the search for Mickey Mouse. And then Tangled got announced as the 50th animated classic. And everyone was like, what about... No? Okay.
Has Mickey Mouse been in any other movies?
He's in Fun and Fancy Free, he's in Fantasia. I think they're the only two.
Fun and Fancy Free, no one's seen that. That's the third mention that's had this.
Damn! Our Disney crossover journey through time now brings us to the year 2009. That rhymed! So two artists and massive Disney fans came up with an idea for a short film called Princess Academy, where pretty much every single female main character from a Disney movie would all show up in this one animated segment. And they approached Alan Menken, and he was on board to write songs for it if Disney gave it the green light.
Also, literally wasn't aiming to do with Disney.
No, so they were approaching Disney.
Wow.
They spent a few months coming up with storyboards, coming up with concept art for it, which
you
looks really
wow,
good.
really?
Do you want to see some?
Yeah. Oh, wow. It looks like it's like old-fashioned.
Yeah, so they managed to get some computer animated characters like Rapunzel, Violet. They look like they belong there, even though they're traditionally animated. But what I love about it is you've got super famous ones like Tiana, like Sleeping Beauty, but then you've also got Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. You've got like a centaur from Fantasia, and you've got a magical harp from Fun and Fancy Free. That's 4 references
5.
in one video. What's happening?
What was it going to be about?
In all honesty, sounds a bit lame. It was gonna be about like a little girl going to like the palace for the first time, and she was gonna like have a dinner party with them all. But would I have been here for like the new songs, seeing them all together, like not just the princesses, but all these different characters?
Yeah, and all women as well.
Yeah. So yeah, and it ended up never getting made because they shut down the hand-drawn department.
Damn, that's sad. How did they get Alan Menken on?
He must have liked the idea.
Maybe they-
He said, but on the like proviso that Disney come on board as well.
The what?
I don't know if that's a real word. I said it and I thought I just want to skim past
The
it.
proviso.
The proviso.
Almost. There are a few provisos.
Now our journey brings us to a crossover that I think we're probably all familiar with.
This one was good.
Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Damn.
Not only is it the famous Disney princess scene and the one at the end, which is epic, but also just walking around, oh my Disney, all the different Marvel, Muppets, Star Wars, Pixar. It was really cool for cameos.
Yeah. That scene
With the princesses.
So good.
Really good.
Yeah. Really clever. We didn't need it. It was in like it didn't actually play much parts of the story, did it?
Oh no, it's also the only bit of the film I really
good.
like.
Yeah, I'd say it's the only thing that's good in the film.
But it was so good. It showed that it works being CG animation.
Yeah. Some of them looked a bit funky. I guess it's because we've not seen it.
Yeah, you're bringing back a character from like 70 years ago.
Yeah.
What's also interesting about it though is it's set outside of their films. Like, they're not the same characters from their films. They're almost like internet personalities. They're like in this holding room, waiting to be on a website somewhere.
Yeah.
They're not the actual characters.
Well, they can't be because they're not in the same time period.
And that's how they've got away with it. But also, it makes me wonder, how would they make that work in the future, having all those characters in the same place?
Yeah.
So that was all the Disney crossovers that I think have happened in history.
I learned a lot just then. I didn't hear any of that before.
If you think I've missed one, I probably have. So please let me know in the comments below.
We're going to give you more Disney crossover chat. We're going to talk about all Disney crossovers that should, could, would, will maybe happen in the future. So if you want to check out what we think should be a Disney crossover in the future, come join us on our next video. If you like the video, hit the like button, all the YouTube stuff, and subscribe because we like you guys. Bye.
And then most famously happened in 1998. I'm making a mess of this. I'm sorry.